everybody. It's
crazy.
crazy.
At least 24 children?
Oh, yeah, they're all, yeah.
Our green room is insane.
Yes.
Hashtag All-American Christmas. All right.
is.
Hashtag All-American Impeachment. What's going on today?
Today we're starting the hearing in Judiciary where it's finally supposed to be. But what's so interesting, the Speaker has already said the articles need to be moved forward, so why are you having this?
Yeah.
But what's most concerning to me is Adam Schiff will not be there. He prided himself on being a special prosecutor, why they had to do this differently. Every other special prosecutor had testified.
Sure.
Mueller had testified about his report. But it's interesting to me why he would not testify after we found out he had met with the whistleblower. All those things that he doesn't want to talk about.
And that's
So
why
why
he
don't you
would
get
be a
his
good
phone
witness.
logs? Why don't you get Adam Schiff's phone logs to find out if he spoke to the whistleblower?
It's irresponsible what Adam Schiff has done, and this will not be the end of that. We're focusing on impeachment today, but what he is doing to try to intimidate people, what he's misusing of his power to go after and put people's phone logs out is unbelievable.
Well, you bring up a good point. Nancy Pelosi says we're already going to vote on it. So why are we having this hearing today? And tell us who we're going to hear from today. I know we have a list of the different counsel.
You're going to hear from both
Barry
counsels, Republican and Democrat counsels, on the report itself. The members would be there and be willing to testify, except for Adam Schiff. So it's going to be interesting, the number of questions. But remember, what has happened here is Nancy Pelosi already had a timeline. She knew the date when she wanted to impeach the president, right before the end of the year. She knew each moment. The only thing they did not have was proof. So they brought in the professors. And then they found from Jonathan Turley, who is a Democrat, who did not vote for the president, who is the constitutional scholar that everybody admires. He says it's the fastest, thinnest impeachment in history. And he says the only abuse, if you move forward, would be the abuse of power by the Democratic members of Congress.
Okay, and so I think there are going to be two Democratic lawyers. We've got the list. One Republican, Steve Castor, is going to be appearing for the minority.
You'll recognize these two, though. They've been part of the hearing.
Oh, absolutely. But in the meantime, Doug Collins has said that even though we're in the minority, we would like to have a hearing. And we would like to be able to call our witnesses. But you know how it works, Mr. Leader. The deck is stacked against Republicans.
Oh, completely stacked, even how they changed the system. But it is the rule of the House, always has been, when we're in the majority. The minority gets a minority hearing. You request it, you get one. But you know what's interesting? Devin requested this in Intel. They've never had it yet. Judiciary, they should have it before they move forward with anything else. So the minority could have it. Normally what they'll do is pick a Saturday or something. Yeah. We'll come in on a Saturday. This is too important.
But they passed that special resolution 660 that gives them all the cards.
It only gives them all the cards. It controls how they even ask the questions. Not even the members can ask the questions less the first 45 minutes. Unheard of to have process.
Are you friends with any of these 31 Democrats that are in Trump districts? Aren't they scared about losing their seat going forward? Why would Nancy Pelosi put them in this position? And who are the 15 that will vote for it?
Well, you know what's so interesting here? Those 31, when they watched the Speaker say that, they watched her give up their seats. And I know she talks about whether she loves or hates this president. I know the one thing she does love, she loves to impeach this president. Because she has put all the majority on the impeachment. That's all they've done. There's more subpoenas they've issued than passed laws. This is all they want to do, and it hinges on those 31 would change the majority.
Firehouse Strategies did their study, and it came out that the president is now leading all the leading Democratic candidates in the battleground states since impeachment kicked into gear.
Well, you just answered why they want to impeach him. In modern history, we've never gone after impeaching a president in the first term. Remember what Al Green said. He said, we have to impeach him because we cannot beat him. Remember these new freshman majority that gave him the majority makers? What'd they say on the first day that they were sworn into Congress to leave? I'm going to impeach the person.
Impeach.
But Al Green added something to his call for impeachment. We have to impeach him because that's the way we deal with slavery, to deal with slavery. That's what he brought up yesterday. But real quick, when you talk about what the talking points are for the Democrats, they say this case is uncontested and indisputable, and if we don't stop him, he'll do it again. I don't understand how you could even say uncontested. Even if you believe the case is strong, you can't say it's uncontested.
You know what? The American people have seen the transcripts. They disagree with the Democrats. The scholars disagree with the Democrats. Even the witnesses the Democrats bring in, their top witnesses, we've asked them, what is impeachable? Not one of them can name one thing. The only thing they focused on. Remember, the chairman today, Nadler, he campaigned to become chairman of this committee because it's the impeachment committee on the basis that he would be the best chairman for impeachment. That's what they started their whole
So why
career.
did
If he could stay awake.
Yeah.
So why did it go to Schiff first?
Because they think Nadler's inept. So they moved it to Schiff, and Schiff dislikes this president so much, he will lie and lie and lie. He will do anything to impeach this president. Remember when he first started, before the Mueller report, that he had proof beyond circumstantial? We found that was a lie. Remember when he said he wished he knew who the whistleblower was? That was a lie.
You brought up Mr. Nadler. You say he's inept. Nonetheless, he was on Meet the Press yesterday.
The president poses a threat to our election, that he put himself, his own interests, above the interests of the country.
Let me ask you this. If he's acquitted, do you believe we'll have a fair election in 2020?
I don't know. The president, based on his past performance, will do everything he can to make it not a fair election. And that is part of what gives us the urgency to proceed with this impeachment.
I'm so confused. You know, on the phone call, the president asked the Ukrainian president to look into the 2016 corruption. And now we're talking about 2020?
They're trying to put words. Remember what Adam Schiff did about the transcript. He read something that wasn't there. The president was asking for something of 2016 that America already had a case, that the Attorney General is already looking into, that America wants to know the answer to.
All right, by the way, he's just also trying to invalidate our new election.
Correct.
Do you see that?
That's the next step.
Yes, very
when
fearful.
When he does win, it's not going to be legit.
So let's talk about the IG report if we could. It's long anticipated, about 400 pages. It's going to drop sometime today, and at which time we're going to find out if there was FISA abuse at the FBI. The early reports from the Washington Post and New York Times say there was a reason to launch the investigation, and the FISA abuse was relegated to 2 FBI agents below Peter Strzok. I know you've read it. What could you tell us? I
haven't read it. I've had some background on it. The one thing I will tell you is this all investigation started because Republicans were concerned what was happening with the FISA abuse when it came to this report and others. If they said it's reasonable, that means we were correct.
What will happen when it's released? Who gets it? And it's public.
Well, the American public's going to get it. These committees should look into it. I think we're going to have some hearings after this. But the difficulty here is, if there is reasonable belief, that means people have misused it. And why did they misuse it? It only strings further investigation we need, and the Attorney General should follow up.
It's supposed to be for terrorists and for spies.
That's right.
And they were surveilling the president, who was a man who was running for president, or his team.
It goes back to everything we said before. Did a few key people dislike this individual, the President Trump, from ever becoming president, and that they have a special plan to try to stop him, and that they use FISA to use it?
But we never were supposed to get this far because Hillary Clinton was going to win, and we never would have known any of this stuff had happened. And there's Christopher Steele.
Yeah, they go heavily into Steele, his background, the dossier, the agenda, the unvalidated report.
And we'd have to do, would they use that dossier for getting to the courts of the FISA abuse? Because that would be outrageous if they used that, because they knew that was not true. And let's see what they went to courts on, because this isn't a public court. This is one that the other side does not get to have a defense to the judges. And the judges should be irate if they find out.
And it doesn't just end today, because you've got Durham's report coming up.
And remember, don't miss what Durham is doing as well, his investigation and where that goes.
Criminal investigation.
It's a big day. Kevin McCarthy and Steve Scalise, same show, but we're not done yet.
And
Great
Santa.
to see you. And Santa. You
go out in front of the tree and take a picture. #All-American Christmas.
In the rain.
Thank you for being here. All right, this morning is the celebration.